Defeated, Jake followed Shubin out of the alley and southward on Stone. As before, Shubin strolled ahead of him as if he had no care in the world, turning his head this way and that and swinging his satchel, and even, Jake had been right, whistling a silly and cheerful tune. Thankfully, this torture was short. At the corner of McCormick and Stone, Shubin halted abruptly, and Jake bumped into him from behind. "Take it easy, kid," Shubin said, nudging Jake with his satchel toward a glass door shadowed under a faded green awning. "Right through there." They approached the door on which "Photo and Repairs" was written in flaking gold letters. Shubin put his hand on the dusty glass and pushed. The door swung open. A thin bell chimed. "Welcome to the spy lair, kid." Jake glanced up at him quickly, but could not tell by Shubin's mocking grin if he was serious or joking. He turned away from Shubin and peered into the murky space. Faded photographs of sunsets, weddings, and kids playing baseball hung haphazardly on the darkly paneled walls. Below the pictures, a glass display case held boxy photo cameras, the kind that had not been in use since the war. Beside the case, an advertisement for Kodak film leaned against the wall. A full-size cardboard cutout of a pretty woman about to snap a picture, with a slick camera aimed in Jake's direction. At the sound of the bell, a brown drape hanging from a rod behind the counter moved aside, and a young woman who looked remarkably like the Kodak cutout stepped out and said in a pleasant voice, "Please come in. We're open." Shubin gently pushed Jake in, and the door thumped closed behind them. The bell chimed again. "You're 37 minutes late, Mr. Shubin," the young woman said. "I was beginning to worry." "Sorry, darling. I was held up saving this young fellow's life from a reckless motorist." Unexpectedly, Shubin slapped Jake on the shoulder. "This is Jake McCauley, Kathy, my landlady's kid. I'm warning you, he is extremely curious. Watch out what you say to him." "I better be careful," the woman said, smiling. "Hello, Jake McCauley." Jake blushed and nodded awkwardly. She was much prettier than the woman on the Kodak cutout, and her hair was even redder than Trudy Lamar's. "Meet my boss, Jake," Shubin said. "Kathy Lubeck, a perfect slave driver. Makes me work around the clock. Isn't that so, sweetheart?" The woman laughed. "Well, Mr. Shubin, it is hardly my fault everyone wants their pictures developed and printed and their cameras fixed by the best photo expert around." "Photo expert?" Jake breathed in astonishment. "The best photo expert," Shubin corrected him, and flipped open a section of the counter beside the glass display case. "Get in there, kid." Shubin pushed Jake into a cramped space behind the counter in which he stood, embarrassed and confused, while Kathy Lubeck asked him what grade he was in, and what school he went to, and while Shubin kept bumping into him from behind, changing out of his jacket into a soiled white lab coat. "The moment we were all waiting for," Shubin cried, pulling aside the drape. "The mystery solved. Spy Runner triumphs." Amazed, Jake looked up at Shubin. How did he know about Spy Runner? "Spy Runner?" Kathy Lubeck said. "You like spy comics, Jake?" "Who, me? No," Jake mumbled. "They're for kids." Shubin burst out laughing. Indeed, we're all adults here. Excuse us, Kathy." He drew Jake past the curtain and let it drop behind them. "Take a look." He punched the light switch beside the doorframe. A naked light bulb flickered, mutely lighting a low workbench, tin cans filled with tools, and cardboard boxes full of spare parts along the racks of raw and sagging plywood. The stagnant air reeked of cigarettes and chemicals and dust. The room was windowless, dead quiet, but somewhere in the shadows Jake heard the buzzing of a fly.